I wanted to talk some more about math and physics, maybe connecting it to the Mars rover. So I talked in one of my videos about how Newton discovered that any two bodies in the universe attract each other. And that's an inverse square law. So the force of that attraction is inversely proportional to the distance between the objects. And that makes sense because space, like if you imagine a circle, its area is proportional to the square of the radius. So you can imagine these lines of force. Lines of force were basically invented by Faraday. He didn't really have a grasp of mathematics, so he was trying to visualize like the electric force and came up with these lines, which I like. I mean, they really help me. They help me visualize why Newton's gravitational law is an inverse square law. Anyway, Newton's universal law of gravitation states that the force in newtons between any two objects in the universe is equal to 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11 times the mass of the two objects divided by the square distance between the two objects. And the answer that the force, that equation will give you the force in newtons if the masses are measured in kilograms and the distance is measured in meters. By the way, I think it's pretty cool that I think the SI unit for distance is, or for mass is the kilogram. It's not the gram. It's the only SI unit that actually has a prefix in it. So like meters is the SI unit for distance, not kilometers. But kilograms is the SI units for mass. By the way, I think SI comes from the French Système International, maybe from the time of Napoleon. Napoleon just wanted to like revamp everything, including science. So he I guess, had all these things redefined. Anyway, so Newton's law of universal gravitation, he came up with that in the late 1600s. I think in his book, the Principia, which he wrote in Latin, because that was like a universal language that everybody could understand in Europe. I talked about that. Newton used his universal law of gravitation together with, I guess, his three laws of motion to deduce that the planets orbit the sun not in circles but in ellipses. An ellipse is a squash circle, like an oval, like an egg or a football. I recommend you study about ellipses and try to understand everything about ellipses. Try not to take stuff in math and physics on faith or for granted. If your teacher tells you something or you read something, try to prove it to yourself. Try to convince yourself that it's true. So, like when you see an equation of an ellipse or learn about the properties of an ellipse, convince yourself of the veracity of those properties and equations. Don't just accept them at face value, please. I used to accept stuff in math and physics at face value, but I've really started enjoying math and physics more when I started trying to prove everything to myself that I can. Anyway, so the orbits of Earth and Mars are actually ellipses. And scientists use these facts to do things like send rovers to Mars. The farther away the planet is from the sun, the more energy it has, which I think is related to the angular momentum of the orbit. That's really exciting. Angular momentum is basically why spinning things don't tip over, like why a child's top doesn't tip over. All right, that's all for now. I'll speak to you guys in another video. Bye for now.